Is there something new to pay for in the music industry? Have you heard of spatial audio? Do the words Dolby Atmos mean anything to you? Really, Royce TV, do you know what spatial audio is? Spatial audio brought to you by Dolby Atmos. So you may be asking yourself, what exactly is spatial audio? Plainly put, spatial audio, aka Dolby Atmos, is gonna be a version of your record that's in surround sound. Dolby Atmos has been in the works for some time, 2 years ago. Back when Mercedes-Benz struck a deal with Dolby Atmos to include this same technology inside the production of their vehicles. Even as recent as 2023, notable pop superstar Rihanna has also had her catalog updated to allow for all of her music to be heard in spatial audio exclusively on Apple Music. Now, spatial audio overall has provided some additional overhead costs when releasing music. Outside of paying for your regular stereo mix, you must also now get the stems from that stereo mix and utilize those stems to then have it mixed in spatial audio. Now, when spatial audio was first introduced, typical mix could range anywhere between $2,500 to $3,500 per mix. Now, fast forwarding to present day here in 2024, you should normally be able to lock in a good spatial mix for somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500. Even though the cost has leveraged off, that's still an additional cost per song associated with an artist's release. Now, outside of experiencing your music in a surround sound environment, current mixes today are stereo 2-track mixes. Stereo meaning left and right. Spatial audio has allowed for 3D audio perception. So instead of it just being a left and right image, it's essentially an audible option to create an environment for the music by itself. So you can hear things in an actual spatial type of placement, whether it's in front of you, below you, beneath you. You have this entire area of perception. Now, for all of my independent artists, if you're able to complete your final mix also in spatial, because again, your spatial mix will be separate from your stereo mix, but you will need both. If you're able to get a spatial mix, the majority of distribution platforms like DistroKid or TuneCore now allow you to upload spatial audio. In this infancy stage of introducing spatial audio to the digital service providers, it's going to be to your advantage to actually have your music mixed in spatial, because it can provide an additional spotlight for you for the promotion of your music overall. Now, we also want to take a moment to shout out Aura Watch, brand new luxury watch company. They've been holding Really Royce down. Aura Watch. Make sure you log on. They have a bunch of holiday sales going on. Also use my discount code Royce30. It will get you 30% off the advertised price for the watch of your choosing. Now, me, I've acquired an entire collection of them, not just because they're the show's sponsor, but because I actually like the watch. You're gonna love it. Use my discount code Royce30. We're over $10,000 in sales and we're still climbing. Do your part, keep my show on the air, and log on to Aura.watch. Use my code Royce30 and get the new luxury watch of your choice. Now, keep in mind, in order to mix in spatial, you must be in a spatial studio like the one that we're in now, where it has the 714 setup that provides you this environmental perception. It also is going to take additional equipment, software, and resources in order to be able to engage in this process. I currently have 2 songs that are out that are mixed in spatial, DJ Drama's Ain't a Lover, and the second one, Go by ESTG. If you listen to both of these records while a stereo mix is available, they'll also provide you the option to listen in spatial. Now, if you don't have access to a studio to actually listen to a record in spatial audio, there are a few workarounds for you. Not for mixing it, but in order to reference it to see what it sounds like. One, Sonos systems are now Atmos enabled. So if you have a Sonos system at home, making sure you have the correct speaker setup, you can then reference Atmos mixes from any computer or streaming device through your Sonos system. Now, more commonly used by consumers, you can use your Mac, Apple headphones. What I've done recently, I'll mix it in the Atmos room, I'll upload it to a cloud drive like Box or Dropbox, and then I'm able to stream that audio to my headphones so I can actually understand the perception of what the mix was in headphones versus in the actual room. But be mindful that Atmos spatial mix files are much larger than your standard 2448 WAV file that will be submitted for mastering. Mixing and mastering is already a thing, but then an Atmos mix is an unmastered file that utilizes the stems from the mix file in order to create this environment. To date, I'm still not aware of an option to master your Atmos final file. The only thing I could imagine at this point is that you would have to take the stems of your mix and master each one of those stems, and then utilize those mastered stems in the Atmos mix in order to create something that is similar in audio quality to to what the mastered stereo file sounds like. It's going to provide an additional spotlight because that technology is still in its infancy stages. 5 to 10 years from now, when spatial audio becomes a standard and it's available in all of our regular playback forms, it will be a requirement for you to have your music in spatial audio in order to come to market for the digital service providers. That where can Atmos lead us? Present day, we're focused on music, but imagine in the future if an actual audiobook is mixed in Atmos. This can create more of an environment for the storytelling factor to kind of encourage you to dive more into whatever the literature is that you're reading. Now, for any artist that's already been releasing music via the digital service providers, this is a chance for you to reinvigorate some life into your catalog by re-delivering this same music in a spatial mix. You have to go back and acquire the master recording files of the final mix in order to be able to stem out that song so it can be put into a spatial mix. The thing with Atmos is that the more individual pieces that you have to work with, the more you can create an environment of the music. Even in only having a 2-track mix, you're able to kind of still create an image of that music. You just can't manipulate all the individual parts. Spatial audio is here to create the musical environment for your artistry. Now, because this is a new technology, it will take some time for this to be fully integrated into the common user's everyday life. Time will only tell where spatial audio will take us. Do you own a pair of Apple headphones? You got these? Record labels just got one more thing to pay for now. Adobe Atmos is a great technology for me as an executive to see that technology continues to grow. And once that technology gains a partnership with the way that people perceive the art, now that technology is a requirement of the art. Spatial audio in general has added additional costs to the actual record production company. It costs more money. Before, you had to worry about paying for a final mix and the mastering. Now there's the final mix, the mastering, and the Atmos mix as well. That's an additional cost that's per track, and it's unavoidable because there's no quick way to engage in an Atmos mix. You actually need the setup so you can perceive the music correctly. So where's this gonna lead the game? The game's in a space to where you gotta have certain headphones, you gotta have certain file types, and if you don't have these things, you're not able to maximize the consumer experience based on the technological advances of society. What's great about spatial audio is that it can give you more of a live perception of the music that you're encountering. When you're looking at an artist perform and then you turn your head and your perception of the audio changes, Atmos gives you this same thing. Spatial audio is the future. It's not just about the music that's being made, it's about how the music's perceived. Now, what's this mean for the independent artist? Having a major record deal could be a bit more advantageous. And being an artist that is truly independent and on your own, a Dolby mix may not be the focus trying to get your music heard by the masses. A stereo mix can still have you break through the marketplace, guaranteed. Dolby Atmos spatial mixes, you gotta do them. It's unavoidable. It's an additional cost. It's a greater opportunity to provide an experience for your consumer. It is the future. Straight from the source, Really Royce TV. Like and subscribe, and click my other videos, please.